Now Durant is out here trolling Scottie Pippen. Scottie with the 6 rings. Pippen, you just lost. There's no MVPs on Twitter. You lost. You're talking about Scottie Pippen? You were just crying and complaining when little 6'5" PJ Tucker was pushing you around. What do you think 6'9" Scottie Pippen would have been doing to you with hand checking, with 90s basketball? You just lost, ring chaser. You're a ring chaser. You gave your best. You gave your best, but you know your best wasn't good enough. To quote the great Jeffrey Osborne, you're a ring chaser. You went to Golden State, you chased, and you won rings on the backs of Steph, Clay, and Draymond. Then Dre called you the B word, and it wasn't baby. He called you the B word, and you went to Brooklyn, okay? And you said that you didn't want to be in the shadows of anyone else, but your shadow just wasn't big enough to get it done in Brooklyn. So what? You had 2 great games. Little Trae Young just had 48 last night. You lost. Go on vacation, cut your toenails, stop shooting air balls to end the season. Loser.
The story for you here, if I can. Scottie Pippen making news in the release of a wide-ranging interview with GQ. In it, he talked about, among other things, the difference between LeBron James and Kevin Durant. He said KD can score better than LeBron, probably always been able to, but has he surpassed LeBron? No. He tried to beat the Milwaukee Bucks instead of utilizing his team. LeBron would have figured out how to beat them, and he wouldn't have been exhausted. He may not have taken the last shot. But LeBron ain't KD, and KD ain't LeBron. KD is a shooter, a scorer, but he doesn't have what LeBron has. So Scottie Pippen said that. Kevin Durant is generally not one who just ignores things like that. So he responded not once but twice on Twitter. First, he tweeted, "Didn't the great Scottie Pippen refuse to go in the game for the last second shot because he was in his feelings as coach drew up the play for a better shooter?" And then he tweeted, "This guy Scott also wanted to enjoy his summer, so he chose to rehab during the season, LOL. Yo, Scottie Pippen, they followed Phil, not you." So I suppose there's a couple of different ways to look at this. One is, we're in the interesting business. This is interesting stuff, so it's okay. The other is, it's beneath 2 people of this stature to be having this kind of discourse on social media. On which side of that do you fall, Tim Legler?
Well, no, look, I'm okay with it. I don't mind guys that are all-time greats historically getting after a little bit on social media. Look, social media is the platform now to air these kinds of things out. I think the thing that kind of surprised me about this, I don't know if somebody told Kevin Durant about that episode with Scottie Pippen when he basically refused to go in the game while they drew up a play for Tony Kukoc, because he was probably, about 10 years old when that happened? I don't know. Is he that much of an NBA historian that Kevin Durant had that kind of recall at the top of his head? Or did somebody have to tell Kevin Durant about that episode? Either way, I don't really have a problem with both of these guys sort of lifting their leg, right? That's what they're doing. Dogs marking their territory. That's really what this is about. And I think overall, Scottie Pippen was just trying to make the point. Look, Kevin Durant is an elite-level player, and after what he did in that last series, it kind of reminded everybody how great he is. But he's still saying, listen, but he's still not LeBron James and all of the different ways that LeBron could beat you if he had to in that moment, rather than just going and trying to score.
The event took place May of '94 at the old Chicago Stadium, Game 3 against the Knicks. I was in the building. It is the lowest point of Scottie Pippen's brilliant career. That said, PJ, let's analyze specifically what he said. He's basically saying, yeah, KD put on an unbelievable offensive show, but what he didn't do was figure out a way to utilize his teammates to win the series, and LeBron would have. Is that a reasonable analysis of the situation?
No, because his teammates didn't show up. He had no choice. He had teammates throwing the ball to him. Anytime somebody's open, KD's going to get you the ball. His teammates were not making shots. Did Kevin get exhausted? Yes, he did, with good reason. 53 minutes and 48 minutes. I had no problem with the way he played. Way back in time, if I was coaching Kevin as a young guy, I'd say, Kev, you don't need to do this. You're better than that. You don't need to. He's a man now. He's got MVPs. He's got rings. He can do whatever he wants. I don't mind. He is an historian. Would not surprise me at all that he knew the history and that he would fire back. He reads it. You find him answering these things regularly. So if it's important to him, go for it. But I think unfair criticism. LeBron didn't get the Lakers past Phoenix. So, I mean, that's as unfair to say that is a silly comment. To say it's Kevin's fault that they didn't beat The Bucks, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and to your point, anyone who follows Kevin Durant on Twitter is aware he responds to everything and everyone all the time.
Amen.
Whether it's a Hall of Famer like Scottie Pippen or someone with 47 followers, Kevin Durant will respond to the things they say. Legs, let me just get a quick take from you on that. In the way KD tried to carry his team through that series.
No, absolutely not. PJ's right. I mean, look, even go back to the last possession. Think of what Kevin Durant did. He's bringing the ball up the floor. He looks over to his right. Who does he see? James Harden. Oh, here you go, James. Man, thank you. Help me out. And then as soon as he threw it to him, he realized, wait, that's not James Harden. That's a cardboard cutout of James Harden. He's only got one leg. Let me run over there and get the ball back from him and now go operate in a one-on-one situation. So, no, I don't have a problem. You had guys on that team. Joe Harris be a great example. He had an opportunity at 111 all on a wide open look that probably ends the game, ends the series, gets Brooklyn to the next round. Missed it. He struggled throughout the series. James Harden's playing on one leg. Kyrie Irving is in street clothes. No, I honestly don't have a problem with what Kevin Durant was trying to do. It's just he couldn't be superhuman all the way through. And on that last possession against a guy like Jrue Holiday who got low, he has a low center of gravity, he was not going to let him go by. And Durant just said, you know what, this is all I have right now is this one more fadeaway jumper, and it came up short. But he looked around and read the room.
Of their playoff series. Again, this is the third straight time they've been down love two, but Patrick Beverley said that they call Ty Lue Bill Belichick because of all the adjustments that he makes. And from games 3 onward, LA is now 9-1, winning those games by an average of 12 points. So that brings up the question for these two, Tim Legler and PJ Carlesimo. Coach, I'll start with you. The Clippers have done it twice before. Are they about to do it to Phoenix? Who's in charge in this series right now?
I think Phoenix is still in charge, but I like what the Clippers are doing, and Legs knows it from playing. The team that has that desperation factor, it's very hard to, match that. They knew they had to win last night or the series was over. I think it's going to be a very good series, but I still like Phoenix because the desperation factor pretty much out the window now.
Yeah, they have not yet made any final determination, Legs, on Kawhi Leonard, but I don't think there is any expectation that he is coming back to play. Can they crawl all the way out of this hole without him?
I don't think they will, but look, this is a very good team, and right now they have figured out something defensively on Devin Booker with the pressure they're putting on him. I mean, he looked frustrated last night at times. Now, he missed some good looks, and he's an elite-level scorer. You're not going to keep him bottled up the whole time, but the relentless pressure that they have put on him over the last 2 games has dramatically affected their offense because he just cannot find a rhythm. And they have built their offense to a large extent around his rhythm. And right now they're trying to figure out how to operate without that. And Chris Paul, wasn't very good last night offensively either. He missed some time, came back. I expected him to be a little bit rusty. He also looked a little bit slow to me. I didn't like the pace they were playing at. I thought it played into the hands of a very physical Clippers defense against both of those guys. So I think it's a very complete team. The Suns, it wasn't a mirage what we watched all year. This is a very, very good team. And I do think ultimately they will win this series, but there's no question now the Clippers have life, and Game 4, to me, is going to determine whether they actually can make this a real series and go 7 games.
All right, so we'll wait and see what they're able to do with that one there. In the meantime, as that is 2-1 Phoenix in the West, and the East will continue tonight. There's another story percolating around the NBA that I wanted to get you guys' perspective on, and that is there's nothing better than when superstars are beefing with each other, and right now they're doing it very